You don't save time in reading the passage. You don't save time in reading the questions. You don't save time by rushing through the choices. So where will you save time?
So, hello all. I am very happy to have GP here with me in my channel. Now, GP is the managing director of Career Launcher, and he was there from the beginning. Actually, I'm always thankful to GP because he's the one who forced me to take reading comprehension, forced me to write about reading comprehension. Discuss with him is the 3 mistakes that a CAT aspirant should not be doing. So, GP, first of all, tell me how many mocks have you? How many cats
Yeah.
have you taken? Not mocks in your life.
Yeah. CATs, okay, 1998 took it because I wanted to get into an IIM to do my MBA. And since 95, every year except 2003, the year, remember the paper leaked in CAT in 2003? That's the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
CAT I have not taken after 95. So how much does it become? 25, 26 more CAT papers? Okay.
26 cats. So, if anyone wants to
Mm.
know about CAT Funda, then GP is a man. But GP, I want to ask you this one question before I get to the point. What
Mhm.
happened on 2003? Why didn't you take? You took everything. What happened in 2003?
No, I was scheduled to take 2003 also. But what happened was, okay, and the students would not know now. Uh, at that point of time, you had to go to a SBI branch, pay the money, collect a form, and then there was a deadline. And there was the form submission deadline was about 2 weeks after that. So let's say 5th of September would be the form collection deadline, and form submission deadline was about 20th September. That's the typical format which used to be there. So it was that physical era, not the virtual era, where you could do everything online. So I had collected my form, and like always, I would fill up my form around about 10 days before the exam and submit it. And yes, you had to post it, speed post rather. Okay. Unfortunately, in 2003, one of our students who was a good student could not collect the form. Something happened. Okay. So the question was, should I take the paper? And he asked me, what should I do? So the question for me, should I take the paper or should I give him the form? So I gave him the form. And after all, what would have I done had I taken the paper? Okay.
Oh, and then the paper got leaked. Wonderful,
Yes, and
GP.
yeah, that's right.
So coming back to the questions, you have seen so many students over the years. You have created so many success story, I think, and you have been involved in products. You have taken. I have seen you taking every single mock test of Career Launcher. I've seen you solving questions. I've seen you answering students' query. Uh, I don't give my email address and I don't answer too many things, but you answer everybody's questions. So you are the right person to answer this question. 3 mistakes, and let's start with what is your first mistake that students do. What is the first mistake
Okay,
that they do?
okay. See, the first mistake that students do is consider this paper like a school or college exam, which has a defined syllabus. They forget this is a paper which is an aptitude, which is going to test your basic reasoning skills, math skills, English skills, and hence they don't need to worry about exam syllabus completion. So the biggest mistake is they try to complete the syllabus, and till they complete the syllabus, they don't do anything else, which will be fine maybe from a school or college point of view. But from a CAT preparation point of view, which does not have a syllabus, reading comprehension, verbal ability, there's no syllabus. DILR, you do whatever syllabus you want. I can assure you in CAT, you'll still find a couple of sets which are a little different from what you have seen. And same thing in quant, while you have the complete syllabus, or rather quant is the only section you can say where there's some kind of syllabus. Okay, so to me, too much focus on syllabus preparation and not worrying about not doing enough practice or mock test is one of the biggest mistake which is committed by most of the students. Okay, the second mistake, if I can just continue with that because that flows out of the
Sure, sure.
first one only. Okay, the second mistake which is connected to this is people, because they are focused on completing the syllabus, they don't do sufficient practice, and most importantly, they don't take mock cats. To me, this is a paper which is a let's say a practice oriented paper. The level of knowledge required is much lower than what you have in your school and college exams, and only if you take a mock cat will you understand where are you lacking, whether it's a particular topic which you need to brush up, or is it that you know everything but you still don't do well? One of the things which I always tell students is, please remember, an aptitude test typically is going to be a test of your temperament along with your knowledge. The temperament part is where people miss out, and temperament improves only by taking mock cats. So to me, that is the part where people make a big mistake by not taking mock cats and waiting for the syllabus to be able to start taking those papers. Okay. Now, what that also does is that if you don't take the paper, you don't analyze the paper, you don't revise the questions, when you go for the actual exam, you don't know what you're lacking, where you're lacking. And unfortunately, that discovery happens when you're taking CAT. So to me, these are the first two
Two
big
main.
mistakes which.
So one mistake is related to the second one. You're saying the first mistake is thinking there is a syllabus exists and I have to finish
Yeah,
the syllabus and
yeah.
then wait for that before you start taking the mock test. But here is the other question. People then believe is that I am taking the test, my score is low. What is the point
Hmm,
in taking this test? Might as well
hmm,
complete the syllabus. I think that is the
hmm,
psyche of most of these kids. I have not done maths. Let me
hmm.
let
Yeah.
me at least do
See,
something before I take the mocks.
yeah. See, the unfortunate part is uh, there's no syllabus, as I said. So what are you trying to complete? English. Uh, Significant portion of the paper is reading comprehension. You can't build your vocabulary, though vocabulary is not an important part. You can't build a vocabulary over 3 months, 6 months. You will have to start using those words, and even after that, you will get new words. So your task has to be that in the given time, how do I maximize my score? And here again, Jijo, I will not say percentile, I'll say marks. So
Okay.
the focus, as while you are preparing, many students make the mistake of focusing on percentile. Now, please understand, percentile is an outcome of how everyone performs. I don't have any control on percentile. I only have control on the marks that I will score. So, as a test taker, as a candidate, I need to focus on two very simple things. One, did I attempt all the questions that I knew how to solve and I was 100% sure? Second, did I waste my time anywhere? Because if I wasted my time anywhere, that means I would not have had sufficient time in attempting questions I know. After all, if you look at CAT as a paper, if you look at a 3-hour paper, 150 marks is 99 percentile, which is 50%. 50% marks is what is a 99 percentile typically in CAT. If you look at a 2-hour paper, it goes to about 45%. Okay, so my point is, if it's a 50% marks that I know and that I need. Secondly, there's nothing called a syllabus as far as this paper is concerned. What are you trying to complete? Please start taking papers, understand where you are lacking, focus on those specific areas. You might find your biggest problem is time management, but you will know that only when you take a mock CAT. If you don't take a mock CAT, you are never going to discover that time management is an issue for me. Okay, you might find that there are, out of the, let's say, quant only you talked about, out of the, let's say, 26 questions in quant, after the paper you find you had 15, you could easily have solved 16 questions out of 26, but in the paper you did only 7 because in 4 questions you spent 5-6 minutes each. So that
Wow.
to me is the important part of the paper.
So we have the two mistake is syllabus and the mock test. What is the third big mistake that people make?
That's actually that is something which is I've never been able to understand the third mistake, frankly. Okay,
Oh,
and to me the third mistake, which I'm still trying to understand why people feel so, is that the logic is the more difficult the mock, the better it is. Which means if I get very poor marks in a mock, if the question is so difficult that no one can solve, then it's a good paper. I've never been able to understand that. To me, a good paper is one which replicates the actual exam. If you're so fond of difficult papers, go take a JE. Appear for GATE. Why are you taking CAT? CAT is not a difficult paper. We need to be clear, the mock CAT, the study material, the questions, the practice material that you have is in line with what CAT is asking, not miles above CAT. Unfortunately, many students want to think of questions that are much more difficult as good questions. If CAT is X level and you go to a 2X, 3X level, then you are wasting your time, because those questions will not come and you will not be able to work on your speed, because a difficult question by nature is not going to be easy to solve and is going to take a large amount of time.
people have this attitude. Well, I'm saying from being a devil's advocate here,
Mhm.
people have this attitude is that if I prepare or solve question which is of much higher difficulty than the CAT, then I'm
Mm.
automatically get prepared for the CAT. Is that a good
Abs-
logic to go with?
that's a stupid logic, and that is the logic I've never been able to understand. But as I said, why don't you do questions from Olympiads? They will not help you in CAT. CAT will ask you 10 standard stuff which you have expected to solve in, let's say, okay, 40 minutes current paper of quant. If you look at CAT 2020, 13 to 14 correct answers were giving you 99 percentile, which means you have to do a question within 2 to 2.5 minutes, because some questions you will read and leave. So if a 2.5 minutes, please tell me how many Olympiad questions can you do in 2.5 minutes? They had very difficult questions. They have brilliant questions. So the idea is, if by logic, by mathematics or whatever, a question is not doable in something like 3 minutes, it is possibly not a good question for CAT. Okay,
And
because
also, if at the end of the day, one of the things that I believe that you always say is that you have to select the right kind of question and
hmm,
reject some of the questions. So you're actually,
absolutely.
if it's a very tough question, what you're telling me is that you're actually preparing those questions that you'll eventually reject in the paper.
Yeah, that you either you will reject, or even if you try solving them, you'll not be able to do it, because if a question takes you 5 minutes while preparing, in CAT, you can be reasonably sure it'll take you 6 minutes, because there's an exam pressure that you have to deal with. In an examination, you can't afford to be wrong, so you'll be a little extra cautious. You will slow down a little. So those are stupidest questions to look at. And I think I think that is where I've always said I've had a huge advantage of most of the others, because academically I was never good. So I was used
How
to leaving
how
questions.
but how bad or how good was it academic?
No, till class 10th, my rank defined the number of students who passed in the class. So if my rank was 36, that meant 36 students passed. That was as simple as that. I still remember my marks in three boards of class 10th. Mathematics, two papers. Then we used to have two papers of 75 marks each. One paper I had 33 on 75, which is the arithmetic algebra portion. Geometry, another portion I had 6 on 75. So that was me. Okay. My 12th class is 65% with 48 out of 100 in maths. Okay. So that's me. So which I said, it was always a habit for me to look for the right questions to attempt. Most of my classmates knew everything and hence would solve everything. And people tend to carry that habit of school and college, because in a school or college exam, if it's a 3 hour paper, the design is such that you'll be able to complete the paper in 2 hours 45 minutes. In CAT, in 40 minutes, they are giving you questions which need 80 minutes to solve, or if not 80, at least 60 minutes to solve. So when I know the time available to me is not sufficient for 26 questions of quant or 24 questions of DILR, why am I even trying to look at those questions which I'm not going to solve? To me, that's a simple logic which people fail to understand and keep going after difficult and difficult stuff and waste their time. And believe me, they are good practice. They are good for enjoyment. Okay, but they are not good questions from a paper preparation. So you need to be clear. And every year we find students who prepare only for 2 to 3 months and crack, and while students who prepare for 1.5 years don't make it to the top ions, because the people who have shortage of time typically do only what is required. Students who are preparing for 1 year want to do everything under the sun. So if I have got only 3 months to prepare, I'll do exactly what the paper needs. Just go back to your school and college, especially the engineering college. Okay, most of us would start preparing for the semester exam a couple of days before that, and typically what would we do? Find out which are the important questions, which topics will give me which how many marks, and focus on those topics or those questions. To me, CAT is similar. I don't think CAT is any different from a college exam in terms of the way you should approach it.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing from the three mistakes, which I'll
Mhm.
repeat. Number one,
Yeah.
no syllabus. Okay. Number two, take the mock test. Number
Yeah.
three, be sensible in your preparation. Don't run after the wrong things. What you're
Yeah.
actually telling me, therefore, you are telling me that people should understand what the test is, and
Absolutely.
also people should understand what their abilities are, and try
That's right.
and make sure that your ability
Mm,
is
mm,
mapped towards what the test require, and then crack
mm.
the test. I think that is what I'm hearing from UGP.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the irony is, Most of these kids who are preparing for CAT are toppers in school and college, and most of them, I would say, do exactly what I'm suggesting for their college exams. Very few of them do the complete syllabus. Most of them say, out of the 7 questions, I need to do 4 questions. Okay, which topic should I do? But when it comes to CAT, they want to do the complete syllabus, which does not exist. So that's the irony I've never been able to understand. But that to me is the critical part.
So what is the way out? So if let's say, since you've given 3 mistakes, for example, if somebody has 6 months, 5 months, what would your advice be in terms of how they plan this remaining 5 months? Assuming, let's say, somebody started now or somebody started
Yeah.
a while ago, what should they do in the next 5 months according to you?
Yeah. See, if you just started now, first thing, take a mock or take a old CAT paper. Decide what you want. I'm okay with either of them. Okay. Uh, Try to understand what the paper is first of all. For example, what does English have? What is DILR? What is quant? And in the 40 minutes, how many questions are you able to do comfortably? What is that's just to get a hang of the paper. Now that will tell you what are the areas you need to be focusing on. In addition to that, you would also know that in school, in I was good at geometry but not so great in algebra. That tells you what is it that you should be focusing on. Arithmetic, these are the things I knew. Okay. Second thing is, once you take a paper, you know where you are with respect to each of the 3 sections, and you also have a broad idea as to what you need to do. Now start doing a couple of things. English, on a regular basis, start reading and taking an English test, if possible, every day. But even if you do 3 days a week, it is good enough. Okay, and it has to be test oriented. DILR is again similar to the RC. Most of the most, I will say 99% of students have not encountered DILR till they have reached till they have started preparing for CAT. Okay, so DILR, do the same thing. Pick up your material or do 2 to 4 sets every day so that you get exposed to different kind of data sets and keep taking papers. Quant, the same thing. Which of the sections, which of the topics you are comfortable, start from there. The default being, if not clear which ones to go for arithmetic, algebra, followed by geometry. Everything else can be junked or done later if you have time. Okay. Second thing is, on a regular basis, keep taking mocks. Okay. And as I said, in every mock, your focus has to be, while attempting the paper, I will attempt the question if I know. If I am doubtful or if I am not sure, I will leave the question. Okay. So in the paper, so that your time wastage is 0. You will find, we frequently find in 40 minutes, students have wasted, if not more, at least 20 to 22 minutes. So if you're wasting 50% of your time in the paper, how are you going to do well? Okay, time wastage can happen in multiple ways. We can have a separate session on that, but make sure time wastage is 0. After the paper, go through all the questions which you could solve, see was there a better way of doing it, and the question that you could not solve from quant, DILR, see how they have to be solved, and if it is something you want to do it in future, or it is something you want to junk it and not worry about it. English, look at where did you make a mistake in terms of was it a time wastage again, or were you trying to answer questions even if you did not understand that question or the passage or whatever. Okay. But if I have to pick out one thing that you need to be worrying about throughout that paper of CAT in the 3 sections, it is, did I waste my time anywhere or not? Just if you can reduce your time wastage, you will do well in the paper.
So it's like saying that you should be focusing on marks per minute in the paper.
Absolutely. Exactly. The right thing, right parameter is marks per minute. Okay. And marks per minute, what you need to focus on is something which is achievable by you. Okay. Let's look at CAT 2020. 100 marks was 99 percentile, or 105 marks, 102 marks, depending on the slot. Okay. So if you can do 1 mark per minute, you have done your job. Or 1 mark per minute means 1 question in 3 minutes. That's what CAT is. 1 question in 3 minutes means you will. I hope I've got my maths right.
Yeah. 1 minute. I think 3 marks. No, every question is. So yeah.
So if you can do 1 question in 3 minutes, you have done your job. That's what you need to focus on. And if you start focusing on that right from the beginning, by the time you hit CAT, you'll not be doing 1 question in 3 minutes. You will be doing 1 question in 2 minutes.
And the crime would be spending 6 minutes and get -1.
Yeah, that is a huge issue.
So 9 minutes and getting -1. I think
Huh.
these are.
And Jijo, the irony is most people think there's a problem only in quant. In English, there's a huge amount of time wastage. I read a passage, I go to the question, and go back to the passage all over again. Was first time you spent 3 minutes reading a passage you did not understand. Now, when you're going to the passage again to understand, first you will hunt where the information is, and then you'll quickly skim through it or glance. Now, if you, in 3 minutes of reading you could not understand, in 30 seconds or 20 seconds of reading without having the context and the time pressure, how will you understand? To me,
I've,
that is
I've, I've,
pure and simple time wastage.
so I've always said, since you are discussing about reading, I think that
Hmm.
the whole idea of people hurrying things. So if they suddenly see
Hmm.
that I have to do things fast in CAT, so people will
Yes.
read fast, people
Hmm.
solve fast. People, if you read fast, I have to read at a pace in
Yes.
which I can understand the passage. And imagine how
Yeah.
many mistakes you make
Absolutely
in.
right.
People will
Hmm.
just look at a question, look at a DLR set, and said this is very tough and leave. All I
Hmm.
think
Hmm.
I think people say people put a lot of emphasis. Some people ask this question: should I focus on speed or accuracy? I never understood this question. What it means. Well,
To me,
what is
this question
focus?
is meaningless.
Yes.
Then the
So
only
what?
thing I need to focus is on understanding.
Correct.
If I have understood the passage, I will get the right marks, or at least I'll know I have not understood. I'll leave the question.
See,
To
somebody
me,
says it.
either or both is okay.
Yeah. So somebody saying that, look, should I focus on accuracy? Well, what does it mean? You should focus on getting things wrong. Is it? What does focus on accuracy even mean? Okay. What is the other thing? I'm not focusing on accuracy. I'm focusing on getting it wrong. And what is speed? Speed is not about doing things fast. I think what GP is telling to all of you is that it's about reading at a pace in which you can understand things. But I think speed is, to me, GP is about making the right decisions in the CAT.
Absolutely.
Though,
See, Jigar, just to add to what you said, and probably that is the fourth mistake we can talk about, is where should you be saving time? You don't save time in reading the passage. You don't save time in reading the questions. You don't save time by rushing through the choices. So where will you save time? You will save time by saying, okay, I've read the passage, I've understood the question, but I'm not sure about the answer, so I leave it rather than going back to the passage. You have saved time. Similarly, in quant, I read the question, I'm not sure about it, I leave the question, I've saved time. Yes, I have invested those 30, 35 seconds in reading the question, but if I don't do that, I don't even know whether I should do it or not. Same with DILR. Spend 2.5, 3 minutes to understand the data set. If you don't understand the data set, leave it. You have saved 7 minutes, if not more. But if you have understood, please solve it. So you don't save time while reading the passage. You don't try to rush through the questions or the choices. You should be fast in leaving what you don't know. That is where you will save time.
that is I think the words of it. I think the fourth mistake should have been our zeroth mistake. So that
Yes.
is.
So don't speed up. I don't
I
know how
think
to
the,
put that, but yes.
I think the whole approach is speed versus
Hmm.
accuracy. I think that is destroying a lot of
Ah.
people's career. I think
Hmm. Hmm.
so. I don't have to focus on speed. I don't have to focus on accuracy. I should focus on the ability that I have
Yeah.
and make the sensible decision in the test. That's what I think.
And
What you've written.
that's why I want students not to worry about percentile, because people say 99 percentile. What they try to achieve is 99 percentage.
Okay.
Okay, so please don't worry about percentile. Say in this section of English, can I get 30 marks? That is doable. Now, whether that converts to a 95 percentile, 85 percentile, 99 percentile is post-mortem to me. But if I can consistently get 30 marks in English, I can hope to now go to 35, 40, 45, and so on and so forth. But if every paper I'm just struggling with huge amount of time wastage, some place getting 7 marks, 13 marks, once in a while getting 18, 20, or even 30, it's not going to. I need to be consistent. And to me, the definition of consistency is not how many marks again. The consistency is, have I attempted the question I should have attempted, and have I got it right or not? Have I left the question which I should not have attempted? That is to me consistency. So the focus should be on the process rather than the outcome. So you can go back to Bhagavad Gita all over again, but to me that is the critical part. Focus on the process. When you're reading, don't worry about what the question is going to ask. Just read the passage, understand to the best of your ability, and go to the question. If you know the answer, mark. If you don't know, leave and move on. That simple
Perfect.
process apparently is very difficult.
I think the people don't like I think that the best strategy is always a simple strategies. The more complex it is, the more difficult it is. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, GP. By the way, I should tell you, GP has been advising students for all these years. He has got a blog, GPkaFunda.in, which I'll put it here. And these days, people don't read. I think it's the wealth of information that is written all over the years. And very recently, he's also started a YouTube channel. And I will also leave the link of the channels. Please do check there. There is a lot of students who has given their experiences. In fact, there is your nephew who has prepared for a
Niece.
2 month niece. Sorry, your niece
Niece. Yeah.
was niece. It is right. Yeah, I always get confused between nephew and niece in terms of gender. Okay, your niece, Sakshi, right?
Sakshi Balla. Yeah.
Sakshi Bala, you got prepared for 2 months and made it to IIM Calcutta. So I'm
Lucknow.
Lucknow. I'm Lucknow.
Hmm.
Sorry. And then there are other stories of people who have gone through. Please do go through their experiences, and you will. I think what they say will resonate with what GP is telling you. And listen and whatever advice, and then please follow him. He will connect with him, and he will always help you out with whatever queries that I have. And thank you so much, GP, to be a
Sure.
part of my channel. And I wish
Right.
we will keep on doing a lot of things again like this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Jijo.